4 years ago, this was the greatest race in British karting history. Will it be eclipsed this time? The Junior TKM Elite Final for 2017 at the TKM Festival. Abby Pulling and Spencer Stevenson on the front row, from Rob Wellham and Ross Deal, Edgerton and Strong, Kearney and Newsham, Morgan Kidd and Ian Sissons rounding out the top 10. This one's going to be a good one. Here we go. Abby Pulling has already got challenge from Spencer Stevenson, who goes down the inside line, goes around the outside, takes the position, and this time we go into the first corner and there's no fisticuffs. Stevenson out in front.
Looks like the pole woman, I'm going to say, not the pole man, was squeezed down a second, but she's looking up the inside, can't quite get that done. Abby Pulling.
Well, she's down to third now because Ross Deal slipped through as well, I noticed. So Ross Deal is now up into second position. Abby Pulling has slipped to third as the rest of the field works their way through. Looks very tight in the rear end quarter of the field. And here come the top three, all on very similar karts there. Stevenson from Deal and Pulling. Fourth place is the 34 of Rob Wellham.
On the first lap at the start, going through Stowe Corner here, the first turn, certainly Archie Strong was squeezed wide. He lost a number of places. Two girls, 20% of the top 10. Morgan Kidd is the other girl in the field in the top 10.
Here comes Ross Deal.
Abby Pulling. Deal takes the lead into Derek's corner, but Stevenson gets him on the switchback, but no, he's got to run on the outside, and Deal holds on through Dan Weldon, but that's allowed Rob Wellham, easy to spot Rob Wellham on the orange and black suit. Even from the drone he's easy to spot.
54 is in there as well. Theo Edgerton trying to come through. Here comes Abby Pulling up to second position on the inside of Spencer Stevenson, up into P2. So Deal leads, Pulling second, Stevenson third from Wellham and Edgerton as they come down the straight. And now Abby Pulling's going for the lead. Surely not. Two moves in the same stretch of road. She has taken the lead back again. Abby Pulling, we keep on banging on about this lady. She has the potential to become genuinely the finest racing driver of the female persuasion Britain has ever produced. And if she wins this one, she'll be the first woman ever to win the Junior TKM Elite Final.
Yeah, she has taken her ARDS test so she can race cars, Jake. I don't like that at all.
No,
I think she should stay in karting. Paul Fletcher will say she should stay in karting forever.
Oh, 3 wide per second!
Has just done himself a brace up the inside in the hairpin. What a fantastic move through Kimbolton corner. Wellham from fourth to second.
Rob Wellham, that is one of the moves of the karting season, never mind the weekend. 3 wide into Kimbolton. You have to be moronic to try that move in normal circumstances, but Wellham makes it look absolute child's play. He dives through on the inside, moves up from fourth to second and says, right guys, let's get after Pulling.
Look at this, top 8 are well clear, and the drone really emphasises that, doesn't it? On the back of the group there is the 89 kart.
So we've got Newsham, Kearney and Archie Albone in the mix, and up the inside, that's for second position. So Wellham goes down to third place once again. And it's going to be Abby Pulling clear away. Look at this, Stevenson up to second, but that is not what this pack needs. They need to work together to catch her.
They're going to play into her hands if these if Spencer Stevenson, Ross Deal and the rest of them start battling over second place. It's going to hand Abby Pulling the win. Rest of the karts stream up through the willows. And look at the gap that Charlie Mann's got to make up. He's leading the chase in 9th, but that is a huge gap. That's a good 50-60 metres he's got to make up there. That is the gut chasing group, and that is Mann on the front of it in 9th place.
Well, all it takes is for that battle further up the road to start scrapping, and they will close up on him. That's Zach Oates underneath him, I believe, on the 45. As the field works its way through, back to the front end. Abby Pulling, look, they have worked together. They are catching her, so it's not done yet. As bang, up the inside goes Edgerton. Makes the move on the 30 of Ethan Newsham to make up another position. They need to stay with these 4 up front because they are in danger of falling back. Newsham and Edgerton will now need to cooperate with each other. As up the inside, that looks like Kearney has lost the place to, I think, the 63 of, that's the 89 of Archie Albone that's gone through. Archie Strong still needs to make up some ground, but he's in that mix of the queue of karts behind. Here they come out of Kestrel, down towards Kimbolton once again. In through the right-hander. 30 getting a little bit racy there. Ethan Newsham on the back of Theo Edgerton as they come down the hind straight.
The front four got a little bit of a gap now back to Edgerton. Could be between these four, though Edgerton will come back into it once they start battling again. Lap record here is 42.61. These drivers are around 2/10 outside that, and that lap record is 4 years old, set at this meeting in this particular race, the Elite Final, by Lewis Alton 4 years ago. Nobody's beaten it since then, and these drivers, as quick as they are still 2/10 outside it.
And you know what? Lewis Alton is, of course, famous for pulling off the move of the century at Stowe Corner, round the outside from third to first. So he's going to be a tough nut to crack in terms of a lap record to beat. But these four are not interested in that right now. They're interested in track position, being out in front of the rest, as Rob Wellham defends from Ross Deal, Abby pulling further up defence from Spencer Stevenson, and here's Edgerton trying to hold off the attentions of the 30, Ethan Newsham.
And the front four definitely getting away from Edgerton there in 5th place. Here come the rest of them up into Derricks one more time. Newsham right on the back of Edgerton, but they need to work together to get back into the mix. Here they are. They definitely need to work together to get onto the back of the four in front. This is a one-weekend event. It's about winning it. 2nd place for a lot of people will be considered nowhere. It isn't, of course. It is a significant result, but it's about winning on these British Open Championship event weekends, which is what we've got a race coming up later on for the juniors. We'll see a lot of the same drivers in that. You get the O plate on your kart for the next 12 months. With this one, it's just the TKM Elite Final for juniors. These are the elite drivers in the field this weekend. So you want to take home the top spot trophy for this. But with it being a one-weekend championship event, it's all about winning. Yeah,
it's a hallmark of excellence. If you are a TKM racer, this is the Indy 500 event of your season. You win this, you join an elite group of people. So every single one out there wants to be the winner, but there's only about 6 of them currently in the contention to do that, unless we start seeing Archie Albone and Connor Kearney start to work together to close up on this group of 6. But look, they're splitting up into pairs at this moment in time. Pulling and Stevenson are together, then Wellham and Deal. Then, of course, we've got that battle between Edgerton and Newsham. So it's 3 pairs at the moment as they work their way through to Derricks. Left, right, up and over the curbs, and then they drop down through towards Dan Weldon, the double right apex, and Stevenson is just biding his time on the back of Abby Pulling.
Spencer Stevenson is already on my radar for next season. He is already penned in as one of my ones to watch to win the British Championship in this class next year. Now, Abby Pulling will still be racing in the class next year. She'll be favourite, but Stevenson already on the radar. He's already in my notebook. Made a note of him about 3 or 4 weeks ago in my notebook as one of my ones to watch for next season. He's that sort of quality. He'll go close. He'll push Abby Pulling close next season for the British Championships.
Oh my goodness, that's a huge shunt. That's the 62 with the 67 going over the back of him. Reese Cullen-Jones and Jack Dan come together and somehow, well, it looks as though they're both relatively okay. Let's have a look at it again. Up the inside, it's just 2 wheels come to contact. And as one kart goes over the top of the other, over the shoulder. Oh my goodness, that's a ferocious looking accident. And how on earth were they not collected there by the 39?
Look at that bang!
Oh.
The kart hits him in the face. But this is what I like to see from drivers. Reese Cullen-Jones, now, to be fair, he turns round, he puts his hand up to apologise.
Are you okay, mate?
I like to see that because, you know, if you make a mistake, hold your hands up and say so. However, I will say in his defence, he really, the driver in front, had a slight change of direction. I think that left him with nowhere to go. We're into a 1-lap shootout, Jake.
Oh.
1-lap shootout after the Battenbergs. There's 1 lap remaining. It's all about this lap.
It's time for Spencer Stevenson or Rob Wellham to show their hand to Abby Pulling, but can she get away? They make their way down the Imitsu straight, up towards Derrick. She's defending beautifully, through the left, through the right. And as everybody tightens up, there's a few drivers who have made up some ground. So let's see how it all plays out in this final lap here. Out through the final couple of corners, they will come down the TKM straight down towards the Kestrel corner. And are we going to see a challenge for Abby Pulling in the final bend? We're going to see it from Stevenson. Are we? He's too far back. It's going to be Abby Pulling for the first time in history. The Junior TKM Elite Final will be won by a woman. Abby Pulling has done it in her roller coaster season in 2017. She is the class of the field. Spencer Stevenson second, from Rob Wellham in third. with Ross Steele, Theo Edgerton and Ethan Newsham rounding out the top 6. Fastest lap, Spencer Stevenson on a 42.77. Alton's record, safe for now.
Now, you seem to spend an awful lot of this weekend chasing after these two.
Yeah, it's been a tricky weekend for us, to be honest.
But you've come through quickly every time, so just not quite on the pace to take a win here.
Yeah, we haven't had the pace, but we'll be back next year to win.
Okay, good. Like a nice positive attitude. And Spencer, now you have spent so much of today sitting behind Abby, but you just couldn't quite find that last bit of speed.
Yeah, I just tried to push her away from the pack so we could have a little battle at the end and, yeah, try and get her first and second.
But, of course, that black and yellow flag incident that brought everything to a halt kind of gave you a very easy last lap, didn't it? Because you knew then that all you got to do was keep it on the track and it was yours.
I mean, as soon as the race started, I knew I had to be consistent and try and get away. Of course, Spencer was on the back. But then, yeah, the Battenberg came out with about 2 minutes to go, and I just tried to stop, like, use as much time as I can. And as soon as I looked at the green flag, and I was like, I need to go. And then saw the last lap board as well, so I was like, got it.
Fantastic.
Yeah, couldn't have gone much better.
Good result for you.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think that's just about every heat you won and fastest time and pre-final and the final then.
I didn't pole it in the quali, but then I got at P2 in the quali and then won all the heats in the final. So it's
So only P2 in quali. It's not very good, is it?
I mean, it was still a good place to come.
Plenty of action in that one. There'll be plenty of action in the next one. It's the TKM Extreme Elite Final. Don't go away.